What's good, Vikings Nation? We're kicking things off with a bombshell from the offseason. The Minnesota Vikings just dropped a massive $88 million, five-year deal to snag guard Will Fries from the Indianapolis Colts. This move was all about beefing up our offensive line, a unit that got exposed in our playoff loss to the Rams last year. But here's the kicker. Fries is coming off a brutal broken leg that sidelined him in 2024. Is this a genius pickup or a risky bet? Let's set the stage. The Vikings went 14-3 last season, but our interior line was a weak link, getting stuffed 33% of the time in short yardage runs, per Warren Sharp's stats. That's not going to cut it if we want to protect our shiny new QB, J.J. McCarthy. Fries was one of the top free agent guards, with a stellar 84.9 run block grade from PFF last season. But that injury looms large. Can he return to form? This signing screams ambition, but it's got fans buzzing with questions. Was it smart to throw big money at a guy still rehabbing? And what does this mean for our offensive line overhaul? Let's keep digging, Vikings fans. What's your take on this blockbuster move? So why did the Vikings pull the trigger on Will Fries? It's no secret our offensive line needed a serious upgrade after last season's struggles. The front office, led by Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, wasn't messing around. They brought in Fries, Ryan Kelly, and drafted Donovan Jackson to completely revamp the interior line. This wasn't just a tweak. It was a full-on rebuild to give J.J. McCarthy the protection he needs. Fries, before his injury, was a beast for the Colts, starting 31 games, allowing just 2 sacks in 268 snaps, and earning praise as an enforcer on the field, according to ex-posts from insiders like at @MattAnderson_8. But that broken leg in 2024 has some fans worried. Coach Kevin O'Connell said Fries is targeting a training camp return, but until he's back on the field, we're all holding our breath. Here's the deal. The Vikings saw a chance to grab a top-tier guard, but at what cost? An $88 million contract for a player coming off a major injury feels like a high-stakes poker game. Do you think this gamble will pay off? Or are we setting ourselves up for disappointment? Drop your thoughts below. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Will Fries' injury. A broken leg isn't just a bump in the road. It's a major hurdle for an offensive lineman who takes a beating every snap. The Colts let him walk, likely because they didn't want to pay big bucks for a question mark, and now it's Minnesota's challenge to get him back to his pre-injury form. Reports from Vikings Wire and other sources suggest Fries is still rehabbing, with no clear timeline until training camp. Fansided even called this signing a potential regret, arguing it'll take Fries at least a season, maybe 2, to be fully comfortable. That's a long time when you're banking on him to anchor a line protecting a rookie QB like McCarthy. So what's the vibe, Vikings fans? Are we overreacting to the injury concerns? Or did we just sink $88 million into a risky bet? I want to hear your hot takes in the comments. Let's keep this purple passion alive. This wasn't just about Fries. The Vikings went all out to rebuild their offensive line. Alongside Fries, they signed 4-time Pro Bowler Ryan Kelly at center and drafted Ohio State's Donovan Jackson in the first round. Oh, and don't forget Justin Skule joining the mix. This is a stacked lineup on paper, with Christian Darrisaw and Brian O'Neill holding down the tackle spots. The goal? Fix a line that struggled mightily last season, especially in short yardage situations where we got stuffed 33% of the time, per Warren Sharp. With J.J. McCarthy stepping in as our QB1, this revamped line is crucial to keeping him upright against a brutal 2025 schedule. But with Fries and Darrisaw both coming off injuries, is this overhaul as solid as it looks? What do you think, Vikings Nation? Is this new-look offensive line the key to a playoff run? Or are we banking too much on players recovering from injuries? Hit the comments and let's debate. Let's zoom in on J.J. McCarthy, our rookie QB stepping into the spotlight. After Sam Darnold's 14-win season, the expectations are sky-high, but McCarthy's got 0 NFL snaps under his belt. A strong offensive line is his lifeline, and Fries was supposed to be a cornerstone of that protection. But with his recovery still uncertain, are we putting too much pressure on a rookie? The good news? McCarthy's got weapons, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and a running back duo of Aaron Jones and Cam Akers. Plus, Kevin O'Connell's a quarterback whisperer, squeezing 35 touchdowns out of Darnold last year. If Fries can step up, this offense could be electric. If not, McCarthy might be running for his life. What's your confidence level in McCarthy with this line, Vikings fans? Can he handle the heat with a recovering Fries? Or are we in for a rough ride? Let me know in the comments. Why did the Colts let a talent like Fries walk? Simple. They didn't want to pay top dollar for a guy coming off a major injury. Fries was a standout for them, with an 84.9 run block grade and only 6 QB pressures allowed in 2024, per PFF. But that broken leg changed the game, and Indianapolis opted to move on rather than risk a big contract. Now, it's the Vikings' problem, and some analysts, like those at Fansided, think we overpaid. The Colts' decision makes you wonder, did they see something we missed? Or did we just steal a diamond in the rough? The answer hinges on Fries' recovery, and we won't know until he hits the field. What's your gut telling you, Vikings Nation? Did we outsmart the Colts? Or are we stuck with a pricey question mark? Drop your thoughts below. The Vikings fanbase is buzzing, and X is lit up with reactions to the Fries signing. Posts from at Vikings fanpage and at Nate_Tice praise Fries as a tangible beef addition, with some calling him a straight-up bully who'll protect McCarthy. But not everyone's sold. Some fans are worried about that $88 million price tag for a guy who might not be 100% for a while. This split in the fanbase is real. On one hand, Fries' pre-injury stats are legit, 74.9 pass block grade, only 1 QB hit allowed in 2024. On the other, that leg injury has folks nervous, especially with our history of offensive line woes. Are you team Fries is a steal, or team we overpaid? Let's hear it in the comments. The hype and the doubt are both real, Vikings Nation. Where do you stand on this signing? Is it a bold move or a risky overreach? Let's keep the conversation going. Zooming out, this signing is part of a bigger plan to make the Vikings a legit contender in 2025. After a 14-3 season ended in a playoff letdown, the front office doubled down, revamping both the offensive and defensive lines. With Brian Flores' exotic defense ready to wreak havoc and an offense loaded with playmakers, Fries could be the missing piece or a costly misstep. The Vikings face one of the NFL's toughest schedules in 2025, and a shaky offensive line could spell trouble. If Fries, Kelly, and Jackson gel, we could have one of the league's best units. If not, McCarthy's rookie season might be a bumpy ride. What's the ceiling for this team, Vikings fans? Are you feeling Super Bowl vibes? Or are you worried about the risks? Drop your predictions in the comments and let's talk about where this Vikings squad is headed. Here's where things get dicey. Fries' recovery timeline. Kevin O'Connell's update last month said they're aiming for training camp, but there's no guarantee he'll be full speed. A broken leg, especially for a guard who's in the trenches every play, is no small thing. Some analysts predict it could take a full season for Fries to shake off the rust. That's a problem when you've got a rookie QB and a fanbase expecting a deep playoff run. The Vikings' other additions, like Ryan Kelly and Donovan Jackson, should help, but Fries was supposed to be the anchor. If he's not ready, how much pressure falls on the rest of the line? What do you think, Vikings Nation? Can Fries bounce back by week 1? Or are we looking at a slow start? Hit the comments with your predictions. Alright, Vikings Nation, it's time to wrap this up and lay it all on the line. The Will Fries signing is a high-risk, high-reward move. On one hand, he's a proven talent who could solidify our line and give J.J. McCarthy the protection he needs to shine. On the other, that $88 million deal for a guy coming off a broken leg feels like a gamble that could haunt us if he doesn't recover fully. The Vikings are all in on 2025, and this revamped defensive line is the backbone of our playoff hopes. But with Fries' injury concerns and a tough schedule ahead, the jury's still out. I'm torn, Vikings fans, what about you? Is this signing a stroke of genius or a recipe for regret? Don't forget to smash that like button, drop your hot takes in the comments, and subscribe for all the latest Vikings news. Share this with your fellow Purple Faithful, and let's keep the Skol spirit alive. Until next time, let's go Vikings.